Adam, what do you think about your young guys and the opportunities they're getting now here this season?
Yeah, it's, each week it seems like we're getting more guys involved. We got a lot of room to grow for sure, but I think it's good that, every rep is so valuable for them. I mean, it's just so different than just going through practice. I mean, live bullets and, having to make decisions. It's, you prepare, but at the same time, when things are going fast, you got to make the right decision because the other 10 guys are counting on you.
Let's talk about some of your young guys here as we look at the film. Bryce Hoff out of Memphis, undrafted free agent, getting valuable time for you. His first professional sack. He shows a nonstop motor, never gives up on this play.
He's a interesting guy when you watch him, especially in training camp. He can beat you one or two ways. He can beat you with speed because he is he's a shorter guy, low center of gravity. It's hard for tackles to go against guys like this because it doesn't make sense as far as you're so used to going against these bigger guys that are fast and you got more body surface to hit. And when you're small like this and you can dip and you can bend and then accelerate, it makes it really difficult for these bigger tackles to block them.
How are Hoff's counter moves? Because everybody says in college you can get away with just being a speed rusher, but in the NFL you're not really beginning to be a pass rusher until you have that second and third move.
Yeah, he's got a strong speed to power for sure.
6 interceptions the past 3 games for this defense. Brian Poole, I thought, had a fantastic game against the Dolphins. What is he doing here? Because pre-snap, he's communicating. It's almost like he knows what's coming, and this is not his guy coming across, is it?
Well, this is what they're doing. They're playing to Tampa. They got an extra dropper. Bash is dropping. It's a 3-man rush. These two guys here, what they're doing is their eyes are on the quarterback at all times. Brian does a good job keeping his eyes on the QB, and then at the same time, he recognizes the route combination they got here where Brian feels what's going on and then keeps his eyes on Fitzy and then is able to make a really nice interception.
So he's in great position underneath because if Fitzpatrick's going there, he can break on the ball.
It's one of those things, EA, where he's tight enough to where he doesn't feel like this is going to be good. So in his head, he's going, I'm going to have this right here. Now, this is a tight window, but this is kind of what's allowed Fitzy to have success this year is he's gambled on things like this, and it's worked out, and on this one, it does not.
But a lot of defensive backs, they might come down with a PD, but they're not going to haul it in.
Yeah.
He looks like a pass catcher.
That's the difference where Brian was last year compared to this year. Last year, he was real close on a lot of these. This year, he's making these plays.
Let's talk about another young player, Kyle Phillips. He was great for you last year, and here's a short yardage situation where the back just couldn't get over and get his body on him, and Phillips is right there in the backfield.
This is always a tough, because what happens a lot of time is you go to defeat this block. You can get slowed up because you're worried, hey, maybe that's a possibility of happening, with the naked action. Kyle does a good job of just keeping his speed. I mean, that's what allows him to make this play and make sure that this guy doesn't get the first down is he's going to run through this guy one way or the other. And a lot of times these guys end up cutting him, but he doesn't get taken off his feet. This is a really good play.
So early in the fourth quarter, I think this is one of the plays in the NFL season when we're looking back at it. Marcus May down the field, knocks the ball down, and then fights for it and ends up with it with a little help from Bless Austin.
This was in slow motion on the sideline. Saw this ball go up. The thing is, Marcus, we moved him back to playing more post safety. Obviously, this is just cover 2, but this is where he's really, really good. I don't know if there's many safeties that can play the ball, the deep ball, especially against wide receivers as well as he does. And then he has phenomenal ball skills, and this is an unbelievable interception.
Is that something you show to the guys afterwards and say, this is the kind of effort we need everybody having on every play?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you make a play like that, that's when you're definitely showing and hey, let's duplicate these as many times as possible.
Adam, you guys have a great slot receiver in Jamison Crowder. The Buffalo Bills have a very good one in Cole Beasley. He was effective Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. What makes Beasley so productive?
He has a lot of similar skill sets that Crowder has: initial quickness, ability to run those option routes. He still has enough speed to press vertical, threaten them, hit the brakes.
What does 10 personnel mean for your defense? Because the Bills line up in 10 more than anybody in the league.
Yeah, you got 4 wide receivers and 1 running back, so that's 1, and it's 10 because they normally number personnel teams, they count the tight end as the second digit. So if it was 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, they'd say it's 11 personnel. So if you're a wide receiver, you just gotta add and subtract.
But what kind of stress does it put on the defense, them lining up with the 4 receiver look?
Well, a lot of times you have a mismatch somewhere. If you're staying nickel, there's a safety on either this guy or this guy. If you go dime, now all of a sudden you're smaller, and that's where you'll see teams run it. It's the one negative thing I would say offensively is you don't have a tight end to go max protection when the team really, they bring pressure.
Late in the game against the Chiefs, the Bills were down by a couple scores, and then they started working the middle of the field, and that meant more Beasley.
Yeah. So here's what Kansas City's doing. I mean, they're disguised and they're trying to show like they're going to pressure, all right, and they shoot 27 back here. They're trying to take 14 and 15 away. They're trying to make Buffalo like slowly move the ball. If they're going to score, they want them to eat the clock up, all right, because they're up 13. There's 7:36 left. They're trying to prevent them from giving up a quick one. So they're going as we would say, they're clouding both sides. So it's really kind of it's like 2-on-1. So when that happens, now you get this guy here. He is covering Beasley kind of in the zone, and there's usually holes, which that's Cole finds this. He sits right between the hashes. This linebacker goes and takes it back. You got this guy down the middle of the field in the 2 Tampa scheme. All right, he's working off the quarterback's eyes. All right, he finds a hole. And that's what these slot receivers do. When you get middle field open, that's where the ball usually goes. It goes to the slot receiver.
I think this is Allen's best throw of the year. What are you seeing on this?
Yeah, this would be one of those ones probably not highly recommended. He's looking this way, and it looks like he wants to go with 14 originally. I don't know if he sees the leverage here where he was worried that the guy was going to really kind of cut in front of him, which he looks like he's going to be right. If he would have thrown this ball, this could have been really bad for him. He's able – this is where his arm strength there's not many guys that can do this, where they're aligned to the left and can just absolutely turn their upper torso and flick the ball 25 yards on a rope and then put it right out in front of the receiver on the move. This is what makes Josh, where you see moments of unbelievable talent, but then at the same time, you see things like this happen where it's a turnover or it's a poor decision. And this is the growth of a young quarterback.
Do you see him growing, though? 16 touchdown passes this year, 4 interceptions. He definitely got more talent around him than in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you got Diggs and Brown, and life changes for you. All of a sudden, you go from being a guy everybody's questioning, and all of a sudden, you're one of the top 5 guys.
And here's Diggs getting down the field.
This is what makes this guy a tough cover, man, is you're playing cover 2, and you're supposed to have a guy over the top, and you got the kind of speed where you can get on a safety, double move him. And then what makes him – a lot of fast guys are not high point guys, are not guys that are physical. This guy plays the game with extreme speed, and at the same time, he's very aggressive to the ball. A lot of guys don't go up for this ball like this. He high points it. They're trying to pull it out. He's very strong, too, at the catch point.
What do you guys have to do to give yourselves a chance against the Bills?
Well, the first thing, the first time that we played them, we had plays there to make when we didn't make them. Defensively, we have to do a better job against their quarterback runs, their zone read stuff. It's tough because, the amount of cover 2 that we play where we have lighter boxes, we have to do a great job at the front. We really won't want to be one-on-one matchups with Diggs and Brown because that's just not something that we do. So we have to be great up front at stopping the run, and we have to make sure that we create turnovers, which we did last time, and then we got to protect the football on offense. We need to find a way to get a big play on special teams at some point in one of the return phases, and then we have to do a good job of stopping their return units because they're really good at what they do.